following interview was recorded Sunday the 6th of November and is the raw, unedited version, not broadcast before. Okay, so we're joined here today by a very special guest. He was the first undisputed champion in WWE, host of ABC's primetime game show Downfall, the star of America's Dancing with the Stars, a New York Times best-selling author. But tonight you will know him as the Ayatollah of rock and roller, as live here at the Well in Leeds from 6 p.m. tonight. He will be on stage with the rest of the band Fozzy for what no doubt be one of the best gigs that you will see here this semester in Leeds. Chris, thanks for joining us today.
Wow, what a intro that was. Can you just follow me around everywhere I go and enter the room first and say that? Like if I go to McDonald's or something, just walk in first and go, hear ye, and then say that, exactly.
Well, I'm glad you like the introduction now.
Well thought out.
Good stuff. I mean, you're here in Leeds, and Leeds has such a great heritage with some, huge headliners such as Metallica, the Smiths, and U2 having played in the city. I mean, what does it mean to you to be able to play here at the Well in Leeds?
One of the best live albums of all time, The Who, live at Leeds. I even tweeted about that. Young Man's Blues. It's great when you hear that record. But yeah, I mean, we've never played in Leeds before. We've been to almost every other city in England, it seems. So it's great to be here. The tour is going great, and we love coming to the UK because it's like a second home for us. It always has been,
definitely.
Since the first time we played here in 2004.
Exactly.
And this is the 4th tour of the UK on this record, on the Chasing the Grail record. So to play here at the Well at Leeds tonight, it's another little feather in our cap for us. So it's great.
Definitely. I mean, it's great to hear. I mean, obviously there's going to be lots of fans here tonight, but for fans that may not know the true awesomeness of Fozzy, how would you describe the band to people that are maybe going to be coming for the first time tonight, or maybe not sure what to expect? Just
very energetic. We have a great reputation as a killer live band because of the energy that we have on stage, and we play the same no matter where we are. When we played at Sonosphere this year, or Download, or when we just played the Uproar tour with Bullet for My Valentine and all these other bands, it's like we bring the same intensity there as we do to playing the Well or playing the Uni in Cardiff or wherever we play. So just a lot of energy, and it's almost a bad word in rock and roll. We actually have fun when we play on stage, and I think our fans know that. We have a great fan base, a very loyal fan base, and that's why we're able to come here 4 times on the same record. Not a lot of people do that, not a lot of bands do that. And we don't just play, like I said, London, Manchester, Liverpool. We play everywhere, and we bring the same intensity and the same energetic vibe to all the shows that we play. So I think if you want to have fun, then tonight's the place to be here at the Well.
I definitely agree with that. Now, of course, Fozzy started off as a cover band before moving on to original material. I mean, if there's one cover song that you wish you would have done on one of your earlier albums, what would that song be?
We always did songs that weren't really the norm, you know what I mean? Like if we did a Maiden song, it wouldn't be Run to the Hills or The Trooper. We did The Prisoner, we did Where Eagles Dare. So yeah, we pretty much covered all the ones we wanted to. We've been talking about maybe doing a cover song for the next record. We're not sure, maybe a Sabbath song or something like that. But we don't play any covers anymore. We still do one of the songs called Eat the Rich, which is pretty much kind of synonymous with us now anyways.
Yeah, I agree.
It's always kind of a Fozzy tune and the vibe that we have. So we had a lot of fun doing the covers, but obviously when you get into a band, you want to do your own stuff, you want to play your own material, and that's kind of been the basis for the band's success over the last 4 or 5 years, the fact that people love what we're doing on our own, and so do we. So
yeah, I definitely agree with that. Now you're here playing at the Well tonight from 6 o'clock here in Leeds, but you've also had a really busy tour, all over the world this year. Already this summer you played at big festivals like Sonosphere. How does that compare to playing in the smaller, sort of more intimate venues like the Well here tonight?
Well, it's like I answered kind of before, when you play something like Sonosphere, it's such a huge crowd, it's such a huge festival. The stages are very big. Same when we did Uproar, we did our first arena shows on the Uproar tour in the States and in Canada just a couple weeks ago. And obviously the stages are bigger, there's more room to roam, more room to run. But a lot of times you're playing to people that don't know you, whereas when we play tonight here in Leeds, the stage will be smaller, there won't be as much room to run, but we know how to work a small stage just as well as we know how to work a big stage. And the difference is too that everybody here, we're preaching to the converted. They're all diehard Fozzy fans. So there's pros and cons to both, and we like doing both. But shows like this, it's always very punk rock. It's sweaty. It's going to be hot in there. There's going to be a great, crazy, energetic, loud crowd, and you can't replace that. As fun as it is playing in front of thousands of people, it's also fun playing in front of hundreds as well.
Exactly. I mean, that's great to hear. I think the venue here is going to be real electric, and like I said, a smaller atmosphere is going to be more claustrophobic, but at the same time, the fans that are going to be here are going to be the die-hard fans.
Totally.
So, like you said, you know, they're already going to be converted.
Yeah, exactly. And as you can see, I have this in my pocket. This is your international plug-in. So I have this in my pocket all the time. So this is your German one, because we have a German bus, so you need that. But if you want the UK one, there it is. Bang. So every American musician or Canadian musician needs to have one of these bad boys when you tour.
You're already covered.
That's a touring veteran right there.
Exactly.
Sorry, continue.
No, okay. I mean, a lot of fans, including myself, first heard about Fozzy the band through your time as a wrestler with WWE. How does Chris Jericho, the wrestler, compare to Chris Jericho, the performer?
Well, the thing is, I mean, I guess that was kind of the gimmick of the band at first, was the fact that there was a wrestler in the band, and I think at first that helped us a lot and also hurt us a lot, because a lot of people didn't take it seriously. They didn't know if it was real. And I've been a musician way longer than I've been wrestling. I've played in bands since I was 12 years old, and this is always something, I've done this my whole life. And I would still be playing music in some way, shape, or form if I wasn't in Fozzy.
Exactly.
But now, after doing this for 13 years, people don't really care so much who's in the band per se. You know, like Bruce Dickinson is an airline pilot. It's not like they go on stage and sing about sitting in seat 3B and eating small bags of peanuts. It's Iron Maiden. It's something that's, you know, and with us, Fozzy's the same thing. I think people know the difference. And the one thing that there is a similarity is when you're working a live crowd and a live audience. I always wanted to be like the David Lee Roth of wrestling, the Paul Stanley of wrestling, the party host. So to come into music, you know, like I said, I do the same thing in wrestling or in music. It's just you want to make sure the crowd has a great time and connect. You have to connect with the crowd and kind of ebb and flow the reactions that you're getting. So the experience is hand in hand on both aspects.
I mean, you talked just then about, you know, about how long your musical career has been going on for. I mean, during your first best-selling book, A Lion's Tale, you talked about, you know, your early musical career and influences, and about how music had always been a part of your life, even before you made a name for yourself as a wrestler.
Right.
Did you ever imagine that one day you'd be touring the world in a band rather than, you know, as a wrestler?
Well, I always wanted to. I mean, my first band was called Primitive Means when we were 14, and then we moved on to Scimitar, which is one of those curved, like Sinbad the Sailor swords. That was my high school band. We played all the dances and the battle of the bands and the clubs and that sort of thing. So yeah, we wanted to be a rock star, man. I also was into wrestling. Wrestling just kind of took off first because I grew up in Winnipeg, Canada, which is not really known for its music scene. There's, I think, the Guess Who and the Crash Test Dummies, and that's about it. So it's like, it was something I always really wanted to do, and then when wrestling took off, I was touring the world, and it was great, but I still was recording songs and playing.
Yeah, there was still that dream.
There was, and then in '99, exactly. And then when Fozzy started in '99, it was like, well, now I've built up my name in this one world, and now it's coming to the same level in the other world. So, yeah, I mean, I always wanted to do this, and the fact that we're doing this, we toured 13 countries on Chasing the Grail, so it is like a dream come true on top of another dream coming true, so I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, you're lucky to have, you know, received success in both fields that you've gone to.
Right.
And during your second best-selling book, Undisputed, you talk more about, you know, sort of the beginning of Fozzy, about how, you know, they evolved alongside your wrestling career. I mean, from what I got from the book was that success never came easy for the band. Like you talked about earlier, you always found it a challenge, you know, to sort of overcome. So, I mean, what challenge do you think you did overcome in order to get to where you are today?
I think just eliminating all negative people. You know, I learned that when I was 19 and first started wrestling, that people who tell you can't do something are the ones that usually have failed in what they wanted to do. And I never listened to anybody saying you can't do this or that'll never work, because it was when I started wrestling, you're too small. You know, how does a small town kid from Winnipeg, Manitoba go into wrestling? I don't know. And then when we started the band, oh, it'll never work, oh, it's just a gimmick, or it's just shit, or whatever, but you're just like, well, fuck you, I don't care, I believe in it, and I'm just gonna keep doing it. And then when you believe in something, other people believe in it too, you know what I mean? And that's how you get real diehard fans that know what you do is real. And I think one thing for Chris Jericho as a performer, as an entertainer, whether it was wrestling or Fozzy or writing a book or doing Dance with the Stars or doing my radio show, whatever it might be, people know that this is real to me. I believe in it and I feel it, and I'm going to continue to do it whether you like it or not. So, you know, people that don't like Fozzy are usually people that have never even heard the music.
Yeah.
And when they do hear it, it's like, holy fuck, that's good. Where was I for the last 10 years? And it's like, as long as you give it a chance, you'll probably like it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. I mean, obviously from your Twitter account and from your books, there's been lots of stories about, you know, your life on the road, and I think one thing that's probably helped in the music career was, you know, your experience on the road with WWE, you know, being away from home so much of the time and coming to places like here in Leeds tonight, where, you know, you whether it's in front of, you know, 100,000 people or it's going to be in front of a few thousand, then, you know, you've always got the same passion and drive to entertain those same amount of people. I mean, based on your time on the road with Fozzy, I mean, can you tell us about like a memorable experience or something that, you know, like an insane story or something that, you know, has happened where, you know, it's just made you think, you know, this is, you know, where I want to go rather than returning back to wrestling?
Well, I mean, there's been so many. I wrote actually quite a bit about it in Undisputed, but I think this summer, I mean, there's a couple of them. This summer playing Sonosphere with Metallica and Anthrax and Megadeth and Slayer. I mean, just to see our name on the bill with that band, you know, especially Metallica, it was just mind-blowing, you know. And then we did a tour opening for Anthrax, which was like, I remember, you know, seeing Anthrax open for Kiss in 1989, and here we are now opening for Anthrax. It was just a real full circle thing to like, wow, we're actually like at the level where we can play with some of these bands that really influenced us. But I think probably the biggest was this, just maybe 2 months ago, we played our first arena show, which was the Calgary Saddle Dome in Calgary. Yeah. Where I saw so many big major shows, and you know, I saw AC/DC there, I saw Metallica there, Van Halen there, you know, and to be playing there with Avenged Sevenfold and Bullet for My Valentine in an arena was like
in your home country as well.
In my hometown. I grew up in Winnipeg, Calgary's where I grew up too, you know, and just like Rich and I took a picture in front of the Saddle Dome, like, fuck, we made it, man. Like, after all these years, we're finally playing in an arena, and so that was a really cool, like, so good job, man, you know. So I mean, but then there's all, of course, crazy decadent stories too. But if you want to talk about just for an emotional, inspirational story, that's probably the best one, the best moment so far.
Exactly. I mean, my favourite Fozzy song is Martin O'Moore's great track. I mean, if you were choosing one song to define Fozzy, which song would you choose?
That's one of them. I mean, very heavy and melodic. People say, what does your band sound like? And it's like, well, if Metallica met Pantera, met Journey or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of melodic vocals, there's a lot of melodic guitars, but also very heavy. So I think Martin O'Moore is a great, Enemy is another one.
Yeah. So we've got two quick questions then from people on Twitter that we've received to us. The first one's from Aaron Bailey. He's 12 years old and he's from Wales. He asked, John Cena is a fucking ass clown. Will you come back to WWE soon to kick the shit out of him?
Wow.
A 12-year-old kid.
He's 12?
Yeah, 12-year-old.
Man, he's pretty angry, isn't he? I'm not sure. Like, I didn't leave the WWE for any bad reason. It's just that my contract expired and I had all this touring coming up with Fozzy. Yeah, and like I said, after all these years of doing this, the fact that we had so much momentum, I just wanted to really, you know, I want this band to go as far as we can go. So I might go back at some point. I don't really have any plans right now, but if something comes across my mind that's very interesting and that is unique, something different, then I would consider it. But until I get that idea, I wouldn't come back because I don't want to do the same thing that I've done before. And I mean, I've done everything that I ever wanted to do in wrestling, so if I never had another match again, it wouldn't bother me.
I think that's one of the things. There's not really much left for you to do. You know, you've been undisputed champion. You know, you play different characters. There's not really a whole lot for you to go back for unless something really sort of attention grabbing. You know, came up.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. I know a lot of people get mad at me. It's like, oh, you got to go back. You got to go back. I never consider myself just a wrestler. And you can see from the moment I started at 19, I consider myself an entertainer and a performer, and I need to be stimulated creatively, and that's why I do so many different things, because I want to, you know, I want to build up this body of work that I have to not just be put in one separate box. So.
Yeah, jack of all trades, you can, you know, get a music career or change avenues whenever you want to.
Yeah, and the thing is, if nobody was coming to our shows, if nobody was buying our records, if there was no forward advancement for the band, then maybe it'd be time to move on. But it's the exact opposite. I mean, we're bigger now, 13 years after we started, than we've ever been. Exactly. And we're teetering on the brink of going to the next level. So I'm not going anywhere as far as Fozzy's concerned, and we're excited about the future. So I hope everybody continues to join me for the ride.
I'm sure they will. One final question then from, again, another one from Twitter. This one's from Dave_Eddie from Preston. He says that on Attack of the Show you did an awesome Thor sketch, which was, you know, really great. He says it was something like that you'd imagine from like a Monty Python sketch. So if you were forming a new group of Pythons, which comedians would you want to join you in your group?
Shit, man.
It's a tough question.
It's a good one though. Yeah, I did it was like an emo Thor, like a really tortured. I imagine like if Laurence Olivier was going to be playing Thor for some reason. If you haven't checked it out, you should go Google Jericho plays Thor. It's pretty funny. But I don't know, like I love Jack Black. I think he's really funny. I want to bust out like a John Cleese, maybe a couple guys from Kids in the Hall in Canada, Scott Thompson, maybe. Michael Richards is a great physical comedian. You know, there's a lot of guys that would be really funny to use. You know, or maybe just go for a bunch of unknowns. You know what I mean? There's a lot of funny people out there, but it's always
a tough one.
It's always easier for me to do things on my own because I don't have to worry about dragging anybody else down. So maybe I'll just do a one-man show,
kind of like
one-man off Broadway show,
exactly.
like in Southampton or something like that.
Exactly. Now, I mean, on this tour, you're going to be away from home and you're going to be celebrating your birthday next week.
Yeah, just a couple days. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, a few days away. So obviously here we know that's what it's like to be away from home. So we do have you a present.
Nice.
Which I know you're a huge Beatles fan. So
oh, thanks, man.
Don't worry, it's not a video of crazy people from Kentucky. Yeah, far away.
I was gonna put that up online, but I just felt too bad about it.
I've tried that many times to see it.
I should put it up, but I just feel like I'd be like, you know,
ripping them up.
Oh, right on, man. Thank you. The cool revolver shirt.
If it doesn't fit, there's no receipt.
Stretches good. Smells nice. I love it.
Nothing more. It's brand new.
Oh, it's very good. Very cool. Thank you very much, guys. It's a better souvenir than I usually get from the interviews that I do, which is usually fuck all.
And people from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris, thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight is going to be absolutely awesome. If you don't already have tickets for the show, there are a very limited number available. So whatever you're doing, whether you need to go hungry for a week, pawn your Xbox, sell your text box, take out your phones, text your friends, send an email, and post it on Facebook and send tweets all over the place.
Rob your teacher.
Rob your teacher, exactly, because Fozzy is the place where you want to be tonight. The gig starts from 6 o'clock. Come down, see the band, support them. And Chris, thanks for your time.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We'll see you tonight, guys. Thank you.
For news, ticket information, and merchandise, go to www.fozzyrock.com.
You ready?
If you're not planning to come to see Fozzy tonight, get off your ass and change your mind. Don't be stupid. This will change your life. It's probably the greatest moment in your entire school year is tonight. You have a bad grade? Your girlfriend giving you shit? Your boyfriend ditch you for another girl? Come on down to Fozzy. We'll solve all your problems. We'll answer all your hopes and dreams. Tonight, here at the Well in Leeds.